Welcome to another series of GovCon365 Snacktime Snippets. I'm Mark Lahart. Joining me is Paul Skirpsky. Today we're going to be focused on companies that sell products to the federal government and or provide services. That's kind of a niche that we have here as an offering into the government contractor space. Now there's a lot of companies that offer applications around professional services, but for those organizations that sell products and or have services as well, we can offer you a solution here built within Business Central to meet those needs and capabilities. So today we're going to be talking about managing your contract catalog. So for companies that have SOUP or GSA contracts or open market, the ability to be able to purchase from the catalog. So the ability to manage both contract and corporate rules here within your quoting system. And we're going to show you how we can meet those needs all within a single application. So Paul, I'll turn it over to you.
All right, thanks Mark, and welcome everybody. Before I hop into the catalog, let me just go a little bit into the item master. So for companies that are reselling products to the federal government, oftentimes there's a lot of Microsoft partners out there that are reselling products to the federal government. So what I want to start with is the item card, just to talk about some of the things that we have on the item side that make it pretty powerful. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll open up a Microsoft Surface Pro. So if you're selling hardware or software to the government, it doesn't matter. And we've got clients that do both within the same business model. So on the item card, this is kind of like this is the place we're going to store some of the default information about this item. And then we go to the contract catalog. So whether it's SOUP or ECS or First Source, that catalog would be what items are you selling to the government against that catalog, and also some details about the IFF, the industrial funding fee. So on the item card, you've got some general information, the item number, description, information about the units of measure. You'll see some data about, on the inventory side, how many of these items you have on a PO or a sales order. In this case, you can see that there's one on a sales order and one on a purchase order. Why that's important is for our clients, there's a lot of drop shipments out there, right? So when I drill into the sales order, I can actually open this up and we'll see some details against the sales order. So let's go ahead and show the document here. And then what you're able to see is I can show you the relationship between the fact that we've got something on a sales order and it's a drop shipment PO, and actually, where is that PO at? So I'm on the sales order now, and you can see that here's the item, quantity 3, it's a drop shipment. And then I'll look at, from the line perspective, or sorry, on the order, if I go to the drop shipment purchase order, what you'll see is that we're selling this surface to the Department of Defense, and then the purchase order in terms of where it's at, I can see that we're buying it from Coolwood Technologies, and you'd see the details behind whether they've shipped it yet or not. And I can also see information if you have serial numbers that you want to upload. We've got a serial number upload process. So it's a great way for someone. And the other thing that's nice is you can see that the numbers, the sales order number and PO number, they're the same. So we've got some automation that I'll show you in the quoting process to make it so we're not adding extra steps as part of that order management function. So that's a little bit about the inventory on hand. You've got costing information. Last thing I'll mention is the Replenishment Tab. So in the Replenishment Tab, we're identifying, in some of our other Snacktime Snippets, we've talked about materials that you produce, but for these product resellers, they're just buying something. So I'm purchasing something, and this is my preferred vendor that I buy it from. You can also identify any alternate vendors. The last thing I want to mention while I'm here is on the Pricing and Sales tab, if you sell something to the federal government, you've got to sell it to them at a price below the commercial price that you're selling it at. So in this case, this is our commercial price is $6.99. And then when we go to our contract catalog, you'll see that we can set rules that tell the system the sales rep can't sell it at a price above whatever our commercial price is. In this case, that's $699 per item. So that's a little bit about the item card. Let me go to the catalog to show you the kind of information that we're managing there. So let's go over to our catalog. We'll pull up because I mentioned soup, I'll go ahead and pull up our soup contract. I guess while we're here, I can talk on also, there's some key information on the home page, and you can see that you can color code the thing. So if the number of open sales orders gets to a certain level or delayed sales orders, I can highlight those things red. And those are defined by you. So really, from a visualization perspective, making it so things pop out off the page so people can take action on certain requirements there. So let's go ahead and open up our soup contract. So you've got information about the contract vehicle. So this is the contract number, description of the contract. Let's go ahead and make it editable so I can show you the drop downs. So who is the person on the client side that's managing that contract vehicle? So this would be one of your resources. Who is the program manager? Contracting office. And in the case of soup, NASA, they're the contracting office. So I've got details about NASA in there. Whether this contract is active or not, period performance of that contract. I've got a 10-year contract here. The IFF, that's the industrial funding fee. We can identify what that is. Also, the ability to identify the contract vehicle. So whether it is soup, USDA, GSA, some other type of GWAC, do I want to add it to the rate shop function? So that rate shop function allows somebody at the quoting stage to compare different vehicles to see which one is the best one to offer the client for that quote. As I go down, some other critical information you'd be interested in. Mark talked about contract rules. So we've got a set of predefined rules, and whether these are company defined rules, in this case, things like you can identify what is the minimum order margin that doesn't require approval, or is there a credit card fee, right? So you can identify what the credit card fee is. And this rule is the list price cannot be exceeded on the quote. So that list price I talked about couldn't be exceeded. And then we've got other contract rules that you can leverage. So there's ones specific to soup, USDA, GSA, or defining corporate rules. So what this does is really helps to keep the company and the sales rep from getting themselves into some kind of hot water. The next thing we'll talk about on the contract is you can have contacts. So this would be any contacts at the client side or internally, comments against that particular catalog, the ability to import. So Dynamics has some great integration with Excel, and whether we use the import function or edit in Excel, we built a catalog import, so you can bring in items into that catalog. And then finally, let me just touch on some of the elements of the catalog. So on the catalog side, you can identify the particular item, and this looks up into our master item list. And that's why I showed that to start, is we can identify what items from the master catalog can be sold on this contract vehicle. Manufacturer code. So one of the examples I often hear from clients is that if you work with Cisco, sometimes clients go to Cisco Direct and sometimes it's bought through distribution. So that manufacturer code is going to give you the ability to have visibility of all Cisco that is purchased, whether it's bought direct or bought through someone like Coolwood Technologies. So the vendor, that's our preferred vendor on that item. CLIN number, whether that's on the catalog or we'll also show it on our quote in the later snippet. Units of measure, our preferred price. So if you remembered on that, the Microsoft Surface, $6.99 was our list price, but on this catalog, it's $6.49. We can also have effective dates, and then finally, we've got the ability to have tiered discounts. So that minimum quantity allows us to say, if the client, instead of buying one surface, they buy 100, maybe on our catalog, we offer it at a 10% discount from there. And I know I mentioned quoting, but I realized as I went through it that that's another snippet coming up. So join us for the next Snack Time Snippet on GovCon365 to learn about some of the quoting features in terms of drop shipments. So you can visit us at www.govcon365.com, and please come back for more GovCon365 Snack Time Snippets.